What up, MVPs? Next fight on the main card is Yair Rodriguez, 20-5, versus Patricio Pitbull, 36-7. Rodriguez, minus 190 favorite. Patricio Pitbull, the underdog, plus 160. And if you're a UFC guy and you're like, I don't recognize this Patricio Pitbull name, I don't blame you, right? He's only been fighting Bellator forever. This is one of the greatest Bellator fighters ever of all time. He's been there for 15 years, if not longer. He and his brother, the Pitbull brothers, is a very accomplished fighter. Now, if you go watch his highlights, UFC doesn't have the ability to show you his highlights. They didn't get the contract or approval from Bellator or some shit like that. So they can't show you his highlights. You might see his highlights against Rizin. That's the only one you're going to be able to see. The rest they won't show you. But here's what I'm going to tell you about Patricio. He's a very good fighter. Like, he's a very skilled fighter. Obviously, he's been subbed once. My bad. I was about to say never been subbed. He got subbed by AJ McKee. He won that fight again, back-to-back, right? So he revenged it. He avenged his only loss in sub fashion. But he knocks people out. I think his hands are lightning fast. He just barely touches people's chins and they fall. You'll be like, yo, what the hell is this? Like, he's just touching people up, throwing combos. I feel like he pulls his punches a little bit, meaning he's not fully committed to them. But at 145 pounds, you don't need to be, right? He's 5'5", 145, though. Reminds me a lot of the guy from last week, the guy that was undefeated. What was his name? The guy that I told you don't bet on him? Yeah. Luis Gurule. They have similar striking styles, is what I'll say. And Luis Gurule was undefeated. But it's because they're 5'5". And they just leave a lot to be desired as far as closing the distance goes. But this is not a bad fighter. Very, very experienced fighter. Dare I say more experienced than any fighter you're going to see. And it's just this movement where we're bringing over the Bellator guys. The Bellator studs. The guys who've been studs. But they're all past their prime. We're talking about MVP. We're talking about Michael Chandler, who, by the way, he beat Michael Chandler. Knocked him the hell out. When did he knock out Michael Chandler? Knocked out Michael Chandler right here, back in 2019. Now, what the hell was Michael Chandler fighting at 45 for? You know, he's a 55er now. But he knocked out Michael Chandler back in 2019. So if you're looking for a guy that is capable of beating fighters you know and names you know, this is Patricio Pitbull. You can be all in on him. You can believe it all day. Okay? And he's looked really good last time he was in the cage. Got a third-round knockout, not a first or second, but a third-round knockout against Jeremy Kennedy. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I've watched him lose to fighters that don't belong in the UFC. I watched him lose to non-UFC caliber fighters. There's Sergio Pettis. The Pettis brothers used to be in the UFC. Doesn't really move me like that. And he lost by decision, and that was in 2023. He's 37 years old. As you get older, you start to lose your speed. I'm going to talk about this in the main event. Right? I'm going to talk about this with Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez. Like, you could be a good fighter, and you have been a phenomenal fighter for many, many years. But at some point, you lose your edge. I'm going to tell you, if you've never lived this personally, when I was in the military, we would train every morning. Work out every single morning. You get paid to work out. And then every month or every couple of months, you go take a PT test, a physical fitness test, and you check to see what your numbers are and where you're at. And I can remember when I first joined and me getting bigger, stronger, and faster my entire career. Till I reached my peak at about 32 is when I was the fastest I ever was. My 2-mile times were under 11 minutes. My push-ups were over 100. My sit-ups were over 100. I was amazing. And then about, let me do the math here. It was 2015, 2016 time frame. I remember it vividly. I remember I was working out every day. And I went out and did that test again. And now my push-ups and sit-ups were in the 80s. And now my run time was in the 14s instead of sub 11. And nothing changed. I didn't get injured. I didn't change my regimen. I didn't change my diet. I was just getting older and slower. And now you're not there, right? And then we used to play flag football. We used to play flag football every season. And I'm the superstar of the flag football league on base. Any base I'm on, we're winning the championship. We're winning the championship. I'm the star wide receiver. We start playing. They're like, yo, Top, hey, man, we need a quarterback. I'm no longer the wide receiver. The wide receivers are all the 22-year-old kids. And now I'm the quarterback. And on defense, I went from being the corner, the shutdown corner. Hey, Top, can you move to outside linebacker? Hey, Top, can you move to defensive end and get after the quarterback? You're fast, man. You get to him. And it's just, you look at them kids and you're like, why am I not those guys anymore? You lost your fast twitch muscles. You lost your ability to do what you used to do. And I can remember when I was retiring, they sent me out there for one more PT test. I was 38 years old. And I ran 16-minute 2 miles. 2 8-minute, back-to-back 8-minute miles. I was 230 pounds. Running 8-minute miles is phenomenal. Ask anybody out there walking around. Phenomenal. Nothing compared to what I was when I was 31, 32 years old. Absolute bum. My 31 and 32-year-old self would have dragged me. Now I'm much stronger. I feel like Patricio Pitbull is on the decline, just like any other Bellator fighter coming over. And you're looking at a fighter like Yair Rodriguez. Homie's 32. Do not get it twisted. Yes, he's lost the last 2 times he was in the cage. Who did he fight? He fought Brian Ortega and Alexander Volkanovski. Easily 2 of the top 5 fighters in the world, or 10 at the time that they fought. And maybe Brian Ortega's pushing it. But this is a man who beat Brian Ortega earlier. But what I'm talking about here is this is a guy that when you watch him fight, you go, yo, that's a bad mother flipper. That's a bad mother flipper. And he's still there. He's still doing his thing. I really like Yair Rodriguez. He's mean. He's aggressive. And if you think he's getting pieced up and knocked out, then go do that. But actually getting outworked for 3 rounds by a 37-year-old man, I just don't see it. I don't. And I'm going to tell you this. Fighting the elite fighters of the world, who's the worst fighter he's fought in the last 5 years? The worst one is Josh Emmett, who was just in the main event last week. And he beat him by sub in the 2nd round. That's the worst fighter he's fought in the last 5 years. This will be the easiest fight he's had in 5 years. And I get it, man. Pitbull's a beast. This will be the easiest fight he's had in 5 years since Jeremy Stevens. Little heathen Jeremy Stevens. Who the fuck is that guy? Yeah, he beat the shit out of him too. So I like Yair Rodriguez. The odds are a little cooked for me. It's minus 190. I wouldn't make it a lock at all. I have a lot of respect for what Pitbull's doing. Shout out to Pitbull. Dale. What up, Miami? 314, whatever it is. I don't know the area code. Don't get at me. But I'm on Yair Rodriguez money line, and I'm keeping it simple. This is not something I would parlay. These are all straight across bets this week. I don't see a whole lot of parlay options around here. I like everything straight across. I'll tell you that right now. There's literally going to be nothing down here for you to parlay. It's going to be straight across bets. I don't recommend any parlays. I've been thinking about it for the whole fight card. I just don't see anything. Nope. You can do pairs on these money lines. Remember, these leans are at 63.41%. Pretty good to parlay 2 of them. You got a shot. But I wouldn't want to ruin it for you. Yair Rodriguez combined with Krylov sounds pretty decent. Not bad. We'll see what you get with that. But I'm not going to put it on the card. Your friends don't know. But Rico knows. Good luck, MVPs.